Good morning from the lookout. Glad to see you today. I hope that you're having a great day. God bless you. We are on day 107. 107 in our Walking Through the Bible project. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate you. Okay, let's start today with John 15. We're going to read 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 out of John. 4 and 5. Remain in me, Jesus says, remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Jesus says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Now, 7 and 8, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want, and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. So we're to produce much fruit for the glory of God. May you do that today. Remain in Jesus, remain connected to the vine, and as we are connected, he says that we will be fruitful. So let's ask God to help us be fruitful today. All right? God bless you. We are in Joshua chapter 15 today, and Joshua begins to assign the allotment of the promised land out to the tribes of Israel. Now, there were great victories along the way, and there were also some signs of difficulty. Okay, honestly, there was some difficulty. And so let's look at chapter 15, verse 63. It says, but the tribe of Judah could not drive out the Jebusites who lived in the city of Jerusalem. So the Jebusites lived there among the people of Judah to this day. So they couldn't do it. Judah was unable, for whatever reason, to drive out the Jebusites, and they continued to live among Israel. Now, in this verse, it's pretty matter of fact, but it may have been hard and disappointing. In many ways, we might want to say that, well, Judah must have been disobedient, or, boy, they failed the Lord there, didn't they? Don't we do that? If somebody doesn't accomplish a goal, then we had to fill in the blanks to figure out why they failed or why they didn't complete the task. Okay? But there is something else going on here that is unseen that we don't know about yet. Okay? So if I turn over to Judges chapter 2. So I'm going to turn over to Judges chapter 2 and listen to some verses from this chapter. Okay? We're going to hit it again later, but let's hit it now. All right? Doesn't hurt to hear it twice. Okay. Judges chapter 2, verse 10, after that generation died, Joshua's generation, another generation grew up who did not acknowledge the Lord or remember the mighty deeds he had done for Israel. That doesn't sound good. The second half of 17, how quickly they turned away from the path of their ancestors who had walked in obedience to the Lord's commands. That really doesn't sound good. And then if we start with verse 20, so the Lord burned with anger against Israel. He said, because these people have violated my covenant, which I made with their ancestors, and have ignored my commands. Now listen, okay, here's where we found out what's going to happen. I will no longer drive out the nations that Joshua left unconquered when he died. I did this to test Israel, to see whether or not they would follow the ways of the Lord, as their ancestors did, to see whether or not they would follow the ways of the Lord as their ancestors did. That is why the Lord left those nations in place. He did not quickly drive them out or allow Joshua to conquer them all. Oh, and there's more, and there's more. Chapter 3, these are the nations that the Lord left in the land to test the Israelites who had not experienced the wars of Canaan. He did this to teach warfare to generations of Israelites who had no experience in battle. Oh, so something was going on, and it was God's idea. So God was making a way for the next generation to be tested, to see if they would follow him, follow the Lord wholeheartedly, and to give the new generation the opportunity to learn how to fight. Yes, fight for the nation. Now, you and I may be uncomfortable with this picture of God wanting this next generation to learn to fight. But in that day, their survival depended on this ability to fight, to stand up against the enemy. And today, in many ways, we still need to fight the enemy. Not flesh and blood, as Paul says, but we fight against spiritual powers that are at work against us, even now. And so we learn to fight. We learn to follow the Lord wholeheartedly. Okay? Whew. Okay, all right. Now, Luke 18. Today, in the midst of teaching and healing people, Jesus takes his disciples away from the crowd, and listen to what he tells them. Now, this is 18:29 to 34. How about 31 to 34? Let's get the right verses there, okay? Taking the 12 disciples aside, Jesus said, "Listen, we're going up to Jerusalem, where all the predictions of the prophets concerning the Son of Man will come true. He will be handed over to the Romans, and he will be mocked, treated shamefully, and spit upon. They will flog him with a whip and kill him, but on the third day he will rise again." But they didn't understand any of this. The significance of his words was hidden from them, and they failed to grasp what he was talking about. Jesus tells the disciples in details what is going to happen when they get to Jerusalem. And after this description, Luke says that they couldn't grasp or understand what he was talking about. And the significance of it all was hidden from them. We know very well what Jesus is talking about because we've pondered it many times, and it makes us sad, and it fills us with thankfulness because of the frightening price that Jesus paid for our sins, to give us forgiveness for our sins. Now we saw in Joshua, and again here, that God is working on something greater that is beyond our current understanding. Now, this might make a difference to us in a couple of ways. First, it reminds us that God is always working toward his desired goal. He's always working toward his desired goal for us. He never takes away our privilege to choose to follow him or not. We can choose to follow him or not. But he is working toward something of significance if we will allow him. Now, another idea, it also reminds us not to simply look at the circumstances we're in right now as isolated moments in our lives. They connect with our past and with our future. And so we ask God to help us understand what he wants us to know now, and trust that he will guide us toward his desired goal. And we are active participants along the way. We are active participants along the way in following God's will. He lets us choose. He lets us follow. Okay? So, realize whatever you're facing right now, whatever it is, it ties to your past. Remember how God has been faithful in your past as you've faced other situations. Maybe not this exact situation, but other situations. Remember. And then as you look toward the future, because you can remember how he helped you in the past, it gives you faith and courage to face the future and take the next uncertain steps. Okay? All right. God bless you. Okay, now, Psalm 86, 1-5 and 11 and 12. Bend down, O Lord, and hear my prayer. Answer me, for I need your help. Protect me, for I am devoted to you. Save me, for I serve you and trust you. You are my God. Be merciful to me, O Lord, for I am calling on you constantly. Give me happiness, O Lord, for I give myself to you. O Lord, you are so good, so ready to forgive, so full of unfailing love for all who ask for your help. 11 and 12. Teach me your ways, O Lord, that I may live according to your truth. Grant me purity of heart, so that I may honor you. With all my heart I will praise you, O Lord my God. I will give glory to your name forever. For your love for me is very great. Oh, isn't that good news? Psalm 13, 9 and 10, or Proverbs 13, 9 and 10. The life of the godly is full of light and joy, but the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. Pride leads to conflict. Those who take advice are wise. Those who take advice are wise. May you be blessed today as you take next steps in following Jesus. God bless you.